inside the Rose Hill Studios. More one-on-one. We've got 3 hours ahead of us, but I think the number one thing on our agenda today is recapping what was a pretty memorable, a little controversial, but overall a very successful MLB All-Star Week. Joe Henry here with Tucker Austin, Griffin Stevenson. Guys, I know you have some opinions to get off your chest. NL wins in a swing-off. It's just their second win in an All-Star game in 12 years. Dave Roberts was saying, man, the AL has had our number for over a decade. It feels so good to finally get a win, but it happened in crazy fashion. A win. Well, they had to win. The official scorebook reads a 6-6 tie. The AL had come back from a 6-0 deficit. Super intense. It was a pretty surreal moment. 7.2 million was the announced audience on TV, making it the most watched All-Star game of the year compared to other sports. Of course, the NHL is a little ambiguous because they did the whole tournament. I think that was probably a greater success than this All-Star game, but I think it still reigns supreme by quite a bit over what the NFL and the NBA do.
Yeah, I would like you look back at the NHL, the Four Nations. That was a really fun tournament, but like you said, it's spread out over multiple games, so the viewership doesn't get up to the same amount as like the one event. And basketball, the NBA has just kind of had issues with their All-Star weekend over the past couple of years, especially in like they finally went back to a format that people enjoyed a little bit more, or they went to a new format this year. I forgot about that almost. But this All-Star game, actually, let's start with the Home Run Derby. We should start with the Home Run Derby because it came first. Home Run Derby, I'm becoming less of a fan of the Home Run Derby every passing year, and it's really, really sad for me because I used to love watching the Home Run Derby, and now I'm just kind of like rolling my eyes at it on my way to the All-Star game. I'm not impressed by the guys who wind up in the Home Run Derby anymore. They seem kind of random or like sort of like a who's hot of like the first couple of months of the season in terms of home run hitters, and not like your run-of-the-mill home run hitters, the guys that you always rely on for bombs. I'm kind of thinking about just past derbies. I pulled up 2017 particularly just to look at, because 8 years ago, so like long time ago, but this is how it used to line up. Giancarlo Stanton versus Gary Sanchez, Mike Moustakas versus Miguel Sano, Cody Bellinger versus Charlie Blackmon, Aaron Judge versus Justin Bour. All of those guys are legitimate home run hitters, and I don't have any qualms about any of them being in the actual like derby. But like this year's derby, I wasn't as much of a fan of the guys who were in it. And as a Yankee fan, this is hard to say, but Jazz Chisholm is the glaring outlier for me. You look at the performance that actually happened in the derby, 3 home runs. That's abysmal. 3 home runs in 40 pitches. Kyle Schwarber hit 3 home runs in the swing-off on 3 pitches.
That's bad. When you put it like that.
I mean, it's almost like, but at that point, you got to look at like who was throwing the balls though too. I feel like if you're only getting 3, like that's a pitching thing, but also like my roommates and I were watching the game, there was like genuine debates of like, could we get 3 if we had a metal bat? Like seriously, like I'm not even like
given like 40 pitches.
Yeah, could you get 3? And I genuinely think it's bad enough where it's like it's bad if you're participating in the Home Run Derby and people in the audience can be like, it's not out of the realm of question that I would back myself to be able to get 3 home runs. It's the Home Run Derby has the same problem as like the dunk contest, in my opinion. Granted, I do think it's a little better at pulling in some of the stars, but like I do look negatively upon Aaron Judge for not participating. I know he's already won it in 2017, and I know he says he thinks it's detrimental to his performance in the regular season, but there is something to be said about you're in a fun MVP race with Cal Raleigh, and then that guy goes out and wins the Home Run Derby and clearly having fun with it. At the end of the day, I think for baseball, this would have been way more entertaining if you could do it as pretty much like another, obviously it's not deciding MVP at all, but fans are reactionary and fans would love to watch, I feel like, those two duke it out. You know what I'm saying? I do think there was some cool parts, like Freddie Freeman, like especially like not the Home Run Derby, just like All-Star Weekend, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole thing. And especially when they brought out who was the one who played for the Braves that was he went last.
Matt Olson.
Yeah.
Oh, you Matt Olson.
Yeah. Granted, he fell apart towards the end, but that's more the stuff you need where like you actually felt the crowd getting behind him in the Derby, and I think that I don't know, the formatting is a little weird now. I think the first round takes way too long, and then the next few, like the subsequent rounds, are kind of underwhelming because of that. I think they kind of just happens in a blip. O'Neal Cruz hit like a 500-plus yard home run.
O'Neal Cruz was one of the more
500 foot.
O'Neal Cruz.
That's like
he was one of the more impressive parts of the home run derby, I thought, just because that's what you want. You want somebody who can just hit the ball as hard as humanly possible, hit it 513 feet. By the way, that ties the longest non-course field derby home run of all time.
Wow.
With Aaron Judge in 2017.
Oh, nice.
He went 513 feet in Miami.
Do you know what's crazy? That wasn't even the longest home run of the weekend in the baseball world.
I know where he's going. Go ahead.
Well, if you guys have followed along with the story of the self-proclaimed one of the best pitchers in the MLB, if he was given the opportunity, Trevor Bauer got demoted in the NPB, and then in his first game back, gave up the longest home run in league history. 596 feet.
Oh, nah.
There's like no way that's true, but it's so
How?
funny.
How did he how do you manage?
Yeah, that's like when like Kim Jong Il golfed like a 30.
It's the same thing.
Like a 30, and he's like I got the course record, guys. The legendary performance. Like, okay. I'm sure maybe with some of the stat trying, there's been some like because once it leaves the park, you know.
What is it? Just like an eyeball from there?
It's one of you know when you're golfing and you lose one in the bushes and you kind of just walk and you just drop one. You know what I'm saying? You could be at the bar like two blocks across the state and be like, I found it, guys. Buy it off me. But I do think it's hilarious that like there was the home run derby and we're talking about the O'Neal Cruz hard hit, like the hardest hit home run in the longest time. But then in an actual game, someone.
Hey, you talk about revitalizing the derby. Just have Bauer be the pitcher.
Yeah.
For everybody. That's how he gets back to the MLB.
I think it would
because at this rate, if you're giving up 600-foot home runs in Japan, you're not coming back.
It would be cool to almost do like a whether it's league based or team based home run derby, where I think it'd be kind of interesting to see like alternating players. Maybe you have like teams and duos. That could be kind of fun.
I do kind of like that.
Yeah, where
interesting.
Because then it almost becomes less of like. Because honestly, like. I don't know. Baseball, like, yes,
we're like slowly departing from like just what it's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be a home run derby.
Yeah, but
like just hit home runs.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think we're getting to the point of like same problem with like the NBA's All-Star.
They're doing so much now between like the pitch count alongside the clock now, where like you can run out of pitches before you run out of time, or you can run out of time and like you leave pitches on the table or something, and like. I just don't get why they ever moved away from like the original or from the system from that home run derby in 2017.
I really dislike
8 years ago.
Yeah, I also don't like
the time.
Whole three-strike.
The time where every 400, every 450 or every 425 or 440, every 440-foot home run or more adds like 15 seconds, I think it was, of time to your clock, and there's no pitch limit.
You could also just make it like with like the Live Golf Tour, they've started doing like long drive competitions. I mean, if the biggest note of the weekend or of that competition, honestly, was the O'Neal Cruz long hit home run, like, let's just okay. The only thing I will say is I would love to be like, let's give these guys like juice balls, crazy like super light bats, see how far they can hit them. However, we would not be allowed. Like I say, they would not be allowed to have kids like. Shagging balls in the outfield because God forbid
I was shocked they were out there.
God forbid Judge limes one of those, and
dude,
it's just like
O'Neal Cruz. O'Neal Cruz has hit a ball 122 miles an hour off of his bat in this season. He did it on like May 25th, I think it said. If he hit the 120 mile an hour seed into the outfield at like a bunch of first graders trying to catch balls in the outfield, it's not a good scenario.
No, but that'd be cool, like a long home run competition, and you put it at like Oracle Park. And you got the bay in the background, and you just have like a ton of people in the water.
Just wait for an All-Star game at Oracle. Like
Yeah.
that's the point of the All-Star
Well,
games.
I mean,
like you go to different places.
The All-Star
and
game being
have
in
it different
Atlanta was
spots.
also kind of, I don't know.
It's not that bad. Like
no, it's not
Atlanta's
bad.
a
It's
decent
just that
home
was a
run park.
controversy in its own right of like they kind of got it because
They were supposed to have it last
Yeah,
year,
and
but then
so
they
they-
didn't get it because of like politics and stuff.
Yeah,
which,
and
like I
so-
don't even know if they should have not had it there last
No,
year
it
in
was
the
a big
first
thing.
place.
I mean, Pat McAfee. Oh, actually, that leads
Well,
me in
okay.
perfectly
Go
to what I
ahead.
was gonna say.
Because I'm pretty sure, like, just right before you do, I'm pretty sure the political climate that made them move the All-Star game away from Atlanta
Yeah,
is exactly the same there now
yeah.
as it was when they moved it and they had it this
Yeah.
year. So it makes you wonder, like, just why didn't you just
All right.
have it last year?
I'm gonna set the scene. Right, we're in the board meeting at Major League Baseball. We're in Manhattan. Right, we're at the table. All right, guys. Who are we thinking for hosting this All-Star weekend home run derby? Oh man, there's some great guys. There's some local guys. There's some all-time
Maybe-
baseball
maybe
figures, commentators.
Ken Rosenthal.
Yeah, there's some good options. Oh, I know. Why don't we get the guy who self-proclaimed has said he doesn't know anything about baseball, who's going to show up in a backwards hat at 45 years old and a tank top? Pat McAfee should never have been touched. Pat McAfee should never have touched the field.
What's crazy is I watched like a segment of the Pat McAfee show. I think it was like on ESPN one day. I don't really watch it regularly, but sometimes I'll just have ESPN on, and so his show will come on. And so I was watching that segment of it, and he starts talking about like, I don't know what we're going to do for the home run derby in the All-Star game. We might go. I think we might go. I'm like talking to somebody about it, and it sounded like they were trying to get like seats or something and like try to get in as like fans. And then I like turn on the home run derby 2 days later, and it's just Pat McAfee there on the field.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, you were just talking about you might not be going. Why are you suddenly hosting it? And like, so I was talking about that a little bit with Joe before the show. I'm like, it's just because he's on ESPN's payroll.
yeah,
like,
that's true. But
He has a show on. They pay him to do his show and then also make appearances like here and there for other things, like Game Day. He's been on Game Day on ESPN for the entirety of last season, and he's going to be a mainstay of it now, alongside of his show on ESPN. So for me, it makes sense that he was there because ESPN got their hands on the home run derby,
logistically,
where
yeah.
Fox got the actual All-Star game. So, and also because it was like a multimedia experience. Like Joe mentioned that Kevin Burkhardt, his voice would come over the PA system in the stadium while also simultaneously on the broadcast at home. And I thought that was really weird and not something that you see that often, but it was just how they did it. It was a very television integrated event overall, which I could appreciate as a fan from home watching on TV. I don't know how much it changed the experience for people in the stadium, but I thought that was a step in the right direction. But I mean, like the changes to the functionality of the game and the function of the derby are kind of where I'm at a loss.
Yeah.
Like,
let's talk a little bit more about this because this was a very controversial week in baseball, even if it was a successful one. Let's play a little game here. Good, bad, and ugly. MLB All-Star Edition. I'm going to tell you a feature of this year's game. You tell me if it's good, bad, or ugly and why. We talked a lot about home run derby, so we'll pass through it. The return of team jerseys in the All-Star game.
do you want to start, Griffin?
Oh, I like it. I think it's good.
Good.
I think it's
Good all day.
Yeah,
Can there be a great? Because I would put this in
love it.
great.
That was like the
Oh,
first thing I mentioned. when I
I have been clamoring for this for years. I am not a fan of the like AL NL jerseys. For the Derby, I do like it because that's the only time that they were ever able to show off the American national jerseys for that weekend. But during the game, I like it so much better when you can actually you can tell immediately which team each guy is from and not have to like squint and look at the hat to check the logo. Like it's so much cooler, and it's also a better visual representation of each team.
Yeah.
Like you can physically see much clearer how what teams are the best because they have the most all-stars. I remember 10 years ago, 2015, 2016, watching the All-Star game and seeing 5 Yankees in pinstripes on the line, standing out from the rest of the American League because the pinstripes are so they're just like that. But that's a part of the game that was lost for me. So definitely good.
Yeah, I feel like they hit the nail on the head finally with the jerseys this year. Every team getting at least one All-Star.
That's the thing. I hesitate to say bad, just because like I don't know, for the sake of like I guess fairness. I don't know, because like imagine.
But it's not supposed to be fair. It's the All-Star game.
That's true.
I mean,
no, you know what? Fine, I'll lean into it then. We're gonna go bad here because like if there's a team that just has a complete roster of guys who are very mediocre and no one that like super deserves to be there, like they shouldn't be sending someone for charity's sake, like from say last year's White Sox or
I'm
something.
I'm seeing what Joe's about to say.
White Sox.
And they're
Shane
not as
Smith.
bad as last year, but yeah, like the reliever from the White Sox who showed up randomly and like put in a really mediocre performance.
Well, he hit Eugenio Suarez.
Oh right, he hit I forgot about that.
Almost set the world on fire.
Yeah,
because
he
he's one of
almost
the most
injured
coveted
Eugenio
guys
Suarez
in the entire trade deadline cycle. Smith's stats like they're fine, but not all-star.
So we'll go
3 and
bad.
7,
We'll definitely go
4.26
bad there.
ERA.
I think like that's the problem with having it be so much fan vote,
It's tricky.
because people will get in like that. Like White Sox fans probably voted for him en masse just because he's like the best player on the White Sox. But and then you got young guys like Miziorowski. I don't want to say his name wrong, but like we'll get there.
He was
but
great.
yeah.
Wait.
I mean, he was great, but he's had a cup of coffee
also,
in the
can I
league.
just add another bad thing
I'm
though?
gonna
I
get
think
to
my
it right now.
TV another bad thing though about that is like you have all these players, but like guys, I think my TV was broken because I was watching the game like for some reason. Was Juan Soto not appearing on your guys' screen for anyone else? Was Juan Soto just because I was looking for him and I like surely how much is he getting paid? Like 600, 700 million? Like I was like surely he's there. So I listen. I've talked to my TV, like my internet providers.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna work it out.
Yeah.
It's clearly a glitch, but like that's another thing that the MLB's got to fix that, man. I mean, not like Juan Soto just not appearing on my screen.
Yeah,
I was mad.
Mets fans should look into that.
Yeah,
that could be.
it would have ruined my experience as a Mets fan.
That could be an issue.
Yeah.
Jacob Miziorowski makes the All-Star game after an MLB record only 5 career appearances.
Are we saying ugly is worse than bad,
Ugly
or
would be worse than bad, in my
or is it
world.
just like kind of different? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it looks bad.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that can we say that's what ugly is? Then this is going to be ugly for me. I think it just looks really bad. You don't have any like veteran players who are playing well enough to bump this guy out of the All-Star game. Like I was saying right before you asked the question. He's had a cup of coffee in Major League. He hasn't even finished his first cup of coffee in Major League Baseball yet. And yet the National League can't conjure anybody else up for the All-Star game.
Did you see?
I get he throws 102.
Yeah, he's insane. Did you see?
But like even Paul Skeens, I feel like had more starts before his first game.
Yeah,
and it was ridiculous that he started as a rookie.
Yeah, true. That was. But like, did you guys see the moment when?
Ken Rosenthal.
No, Miziorowski threw a 98-mile-an-hour slider.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then they cut to Trevor McGill, and Trevor McGill's just like literally is, oh my god.
I feel like talent-wise, he absolutely should be there. Spectacle-wise, he should be there.
Next year.
I think even he would have probably liked to earn it more.
Yeah.
Right.
At least he didn't like show up and was like he showed up and was.
I hope he doesn't fall off the face of the planet now, because that would make
I
the
don't
MLB
think
look
he will.
really
Yeah.
bad.
He's kind of nice with it.
He is nice with it, but I really hope he doesn't fall off. Like, if he's never an All-Star again, this All-Star is going to look pointless.
Let's
Yeah.
move forward. Good, bad,
Yeah.
and ugly. ABS in the All-Star game.
Oh, honestly, I've always been a anti-rule change guy in Major League Baseball because I like to consider myself a bit of a baseball old head. But I'm going to go good here on ABS in the All-Star game. The All-Star game is the place to introduce new rules to Major League Baseball, I think. Spring training and the All-Star game are like your 2 exhibition opportunities in the entire season. So why not try and like squeeze something new into the All-Star game, especially because of the environment that it's in. Everybody's having fun. Every time there was a challenge, everybody on the field was smiling about it. Randy Arozarena struck out to end the game. He got rung up on a challenge that got overturned, and he was smiling. He was like, well,
I would have been heated.
they got me.
No,
I would have been really angry because he had a chance to take the lead for the American League. But yeah.
I disagree.
Really?
I'd rather have. Listen, it's the All-Star game. That's when you got to be like fun with it. I would rather have All-Stars behind home plate calling balls and strikes than ABS, because
We're replacing umpires now?
Yeah, I think that would be hilarious.
With players?
I think that'd be so
Get Trevor Bauer in.
How funny would it be, though? Because, like,
so funny.
How would you have to do that? Would it be like an American League umpire when the American League's hitting, or an American League umpire when the National League's hitting? Because you're going to get bad calls either way.
I think you could do it. You could do it, and then you could kind of have a thing of, like, tiebreaker. Like, you could make it so, like, there's a way to track, like, because they do track performance.
Aaron Judge is ringing up Shohei Ohtani on a pitch 4 inches below his knees.
That's so hilarious, though.
Then Ohtani's just going to turn around and go.
That's so, exactly. You can challenge it. That'd be hilarious. But I don't know. I think we should just stick to, like, I don't know. If anything, I think they should call them. I think, honestly, the strike zone should be bigger for the All-Star game. Just cause. Like,
That's kind of weird.
No, because
that's like kind of a random gripe to have with the All-Star game.
No offense. The pitchers have really made the All-Star game about themselves, in my opinion, and I'm kind of.
Why should it not be?
No one's watching the All-Star.
I want the pitchers to throw 102.
No one's watching the All-Star game to see like when you're like, oh my God, did you see Aaron Judge hit like a bomb in the All-Star game? That's gonna be way better than like. Did you see Paul Skeens threw three strikeouts?
No, dude,
this convince people to not try.
No, I'm gonna go the exact opposite. I think that if we this has always been my kind of hot take about pitchers in the All-Star game. I think if they're running hot, they should be left in. I think if your starter's rolling in the first, he should go 3.
Yeah, no,
in the All-Star game. Let
sure.
him go. Let him see the whole lineup.
Yeah.
Why not let him see the whole order? I mean, like.
You could do it until they get.
Could you imagine how many more people would have kept their eyes on the screen if Paul Skeens went through the AL order 1 to 9 instead of just 1 to 3 and sat down?
That's cool until
somebody breaks something.
Until Scooball's UCL flies into the second row in the 3rd inning, and it ruins the.
I would have rather Rodon started the way that it went because Scooball gave up 2 runs.
Oh well, that's another thing. I hate that. I honestly really don't like them being like mic'd up. Because you're so PR when you're mic'd up. I'd rather have them not be told they're being mic'd up.
It depends on the guy.
Not an actual true I want players to be mic'd up because I think the NFL. I mean, granted, they tell them they're mic'd up and it's a lot better. But I feel like in the NFL, especially, like emotions run so high during games that you still get a lot of authentic moments where players aren't thinking twice about them being mic'd up. But it's funny because the whole point is that you have the pitcher and catcher communication. But you can't have the catcher talking.
Yeah. That was crazy.
You can't have the catcher be like, all right, let's go change up low. Because you have the batters be like, all right, sweet. But like, it's just the pitcher talking, and then he barely talking the whole time, and then it's like, they're like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna try to get him to ground out, and you're like, really? Oh my God! No way! Groundbreaking insights, man. You don't want him to get a hit, Scooball? I can't believe it.
Dude, Scooball.
Who would have?
When the booth told Scooball to challenge that one pitch, it was just like Astros.
Yeah. No, I think they should be. If anything, you gotta go all in if you're gonna do it, or don't do it at all. Like, I want more of honestly chirping from the commentary box on those guys.
I thought PCA handled his mic'd up moment better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's PCA should be the shining example of how baseball players should try to handle being mic'd up in the middle of a game, because a lot of guys, like you said, they'll go PR on the guys in the booth and just throw up a wall and become and it turns into a thing where it sounds like they don't want to be mic'd up right now. And it sounds like all they're waiting for is for the booth to run out of questions and just cut off his feed.
They're waiting for. Also, whose dad was mic'd up? Was it PCA? Was it
Jacob Wilson?
Jacob Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was sick. I thought that was cool.
But again,
his dad interacting with him on the field.
I've never seen someone less comfortable in the stands. He was something. I think he said something he always hits it was something a lot hits tanks or something like he was talking about he hits. I need you to find the dad that has been on their son since T-ball and is gonna be there.
But he's in the All-Star game.
No, but I need you
it's not time to do that anymore.
I need you to mic up a pitcher's dad, and then I need him to be there. Imagine Scooball threw one a little outside.
Yeah, Scooball gives up 2 runs in the first.
You got Scooball's dad being like, throw inside.
You know Scooball's dad
throw
would
inside.
be like that.
Seriously.
Probably. I mean, that's pitchers.
That would be so funny. Or just
they should just have you mic'd up and you do it.
I don't know.
They should mic up. the players' kids.
They should mic up Trevor Bauer and tell.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, ball. I wouldn't have thrown a ball there.
Well, he's probably he's probably somewhere. He's probably somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I would have did.
Oh well, I think the All-Star game too would be fun to do. Like, I always love this idea for sports. But, like, it's different though for the All-Star game because you don't really have like a dedicated fan for each team. But like, let there be like an alternate like fan call of games. Like, I think it would be. I think it'd be so funny.
The producers would be like on the dump button, ready just in case.
No, that's why I'm saying they could do like what the Mets do once a year. They do the kids cast.
That's true.
Where they pick a kid sportscaster to do a Met game. Like if they just did a simulcast, because they do that for the Little League World Series too. They do like a kids simulcast, but that makes sense because it's kids in the Little League World Series. It would work at the All-Star game, I think.
There's not a problem, I think, necessarily with even like language and
my
stuff.
God. Like
a
Nick broadcast or something.
If you like explicitly advertise that it was like it was gonna be like a not family friendly broadcast, you could do that, and then you have the dump button for like if someone says something crazy.
Yeah, I just
don't want something you can't say on air.
The issue with that is you get so many players just get slandered by fans that it's more about like you'd have a lot of players upset like. All right, MLB, you're really just gonna let this dude say that?
I don't think the league would ever allow that.
Like because you can't. What you're gonna say? If you're a pitcher, you'd be like, all right, I'm an all-star starter, and I threw a ball, and some fans yell at me, call me washed on national television. Like you're not gonna.
But that's the thing. Like the All-Star game, it's just not. It's not even close to that vibe at all. No one's actually sweating. When like I always liked it when they sweat in the All-Star game and when it was being played for like the right to host the World Series. That really put something behind it. That made you want to leave starters in and like actually try to win the game. Now it's just about getting as many. It's become like rec baseball, where like everybody on the team has to play at least an inning, everybody has to get at least an at bat, and everybody gets orange slices at the end.
Yeah.
For me, it's still a good product. I think they've found a decent enough balance, especially compared to the other sports leagues.
Yeah,
I think that the product's much better. I go back and forth about home field advantage. We don't have enough time to fully flesh out that debate.
Yeah.
But one more thing I think we should touch on in this good, bad, and ugly. Aaron Boone's management of the swing off.
Can I ring off some stats really quick?
You may.
All right. So, as we know, went to a swing off. National League
We should probably clarify how the swing off works though, cuz this mattered for my decision on Boone because like they picked the swing off guys before Saturday? Was it?
Before the game.
Or the Saturday before the Saturday before the game.
My point will still stand though.
Yeah, either way.
For seeing a swing off, the National League chose Kyle Stowers, Kyle Schwarber, and Pete Alonso. I mean, those are all guys hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
Consistently good power hitters. Aaron Boone chose Brent Rooker, Randy Arozarena, and then he also chose Jonathan Aranda. All right, Brent Rooker's home runs this season, 20. Randy Arozarena home runs this season, 17. Jonathan Aranda's home runs this season, 11. For those of you that are doing good math at home, combined they have 48 home runs on the season.
Okay. Solid
In
number.
the American League, you have Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. Combined between just the two of them, they have 73 home runs this season. That's a 25 home run difference with one less player. And I find it strikingly hard to believe that there's not a conflict of interest with Aaron Boone being the Yankees manager and not wanting to have your guy. Aaron Judge already doesn't want to participate in the home run derby. Clearly, there has to be something there of like, same with Kyle Raleigh. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like, I don't want these guys risking that even more. But it's objectively bad product for baseball if your guys who are having all-time home run hitting seasons, Kyle Raleigh having the best hitting season ever for a catcher, up there with like the peak steroid era hitters. Aaron Judge, amazing season, probably one of the best hitting seasons, if not the best hitting season of all time. Why are they not among the three people you send out for a swing off?
And even if you don't want to use Aaron Judge, who is the captain of your team and is having an MVP caliber season, you don't want him to get hurt. Yeah. Cal Raleigh leads the entire league in home runs, and you'd become a kind of a pariah if he got hurt because you put him in that competition. Those were two of the points you brought up as like an aside.
If you decide to not use Judge, you can't then put Raleigh in because then that's like, okay, what are we doing?
But even if you want to avoid using either of those guys, like Vlad Guerrero Jr. still exists.
Yes.
He won the home run derby last year.
Yeah.
How is he not option number 1 from the American League? Unless, I was talking to Joe before the show again about this, that some of these guys, once they're out of the All-Star game, they are just not in the facility anymore.
Aaron Judge would have had to turn around his
They
private jet.
literally
Aaron
just
Judge
get
would
on
have
a plane and leave.
Well, Judge probably didn't leave. He didn't fly because the Yankees are in Atlanta this week or this weekend. First game tonight as of the recording of this.
Yeah.
But like Cal Raleigh is probably gone because I think he was out of the game at this point. Even Vladdy may have been gone, although I don't remember if he finished the game or not. I don't know. It was pretty late. I'm like passing out as the game is ending effectively. But then the swing off comes on, and I'm like, we're locked.
I mean,
we're locked back in.
You had
surreal
Buxton,
moment.
you had J-Rant.
First ever
Buxton's
swing off
in the home run.
Dude,
Buxton's
yeah,
coming
Buxton,
off of the
who was
home run
in the
derby.
I mean, Jazz was in the Derby also, and like Boone would have had to make that decision before the home run derby took place.
I guess, but like,
So like, why not put Jazz in the swing off if he's already in the Derby?
but the swing off's not gonna. The swing off is not a long.
Brent Rooker was
time.
in the home run derby and the swing off, so it
Yeah.
wasn't like unprecedented that someone could do both.
He's like, this guy's playing in a little league park. Whatever.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about Aaron Boone and his managerial decisions, a little bit more about Aaron Judge. We're going to be talking about the Yankees right after this. We'll be right back with more one-on-one.